This is the Echoes of New Eden podcast. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Echoes of New Eden. I am your host, Rambo. And everybody, also welcome Taylor Rick. Taylor Rick is with us. How's it going?
It's good, man. It's been a long time since we've done one of these. It feels like forever. We're talking, what, 3 weeks back? It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Had some.
Only a few things have happened.
Yeah, had some things happen, but I am happy to say that we have some audio production quality back into this podcast, so now that I'm back.
What are you saying? You saying my audio quality's not good enough when I record the show?
Yours is fine. Yours is fine. You have like no intros, commercials aren't fluid, all that stuff. But anyway.
I just wing it. I play honk noises here and there. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I got them on speed dial too.
There you go. Nice.
So, yeah, we got quite the show. This is episode 17 or 17 for those that can't count, like snacks. So,
or know when the show starts. He's like, I thought this already started.
So, yeah, we have a couple weeks of missed content, at least on this podcast. I know other content creators and just people, just general chatter and stuff, people know what's typically going on in New Eden right now. But in my case, I actually had some things go down in the last couple weeks in which I wasn't able to do the show. So the first show that we missed, my mom passed away a day before the show. So I kind of, was busy with all of that. And I just want to say life is short. It was unexpected and so, still technically dealing with all of that. I have her funeral coming up here in the middle of June. And actually, Taylor, I'll let you know now that you need to find a co-host for that week. So it'll be It'll be 2 weeks from now, the 16th. We'll need a co-host for you for the show.
Fair enough, I can get it.
I will be out of state and won't have my stuff, so you know how that goes.
I do.
And then the following week, I get my PC set up, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do the show. I get everything. I get commercials lined up. I got all this stuff. I made new commercials, and was about ready to say, hey, okay, let's get this thing going. And then my power gets cut out. And later I found out that half my town lost power. Actually, 3/4 of my town lost power right in that that time frame in which we do the show. I was like, well, shoot, I can't do anything now. And you're out of town. You didn't have your setup, so,
Yeah, I just had the mobile setup where I could just, I couldn't record or do any of that, so...
yep. That's basically the reason why we've missed the last couple weeks. But now everything is set up and back to normal as it should be. And for here on out, not everybody left to play Diablo Immortals. Turns out that game's not that great, so it's kind of boring. But I mean, some people went over there and
I loaded it. That's about as far as I got.
Yeah, there's a lot of complaints in that aspect where it's 10 gigabytes and people don't have that amount of space on their phone. But it is another NetEase game, so they'll find some way to get your credit card number. But we're hoping that Blizzard is going to be more in depth in that game, and maybe it'll be a bit better. Lots of bugs. I'm hearing.
Maybe. We'll see.
I
couldn't even pick out my character when I tried to. That's as far as I got, because all you saw was couldn't see what they looked like. You just see this shadow moving in the background. That was it. So I had to delete it and try to reinstall it. I haven't gotten back into it since.
Yeah, I started playing it just a little bit, but like I said, I told you before, I'm only level 16 at day 2, and I'm a minority. There's people in the 40s, probably 50s by now. I'm I can't play that much. It's bad enough I play Eve Echoes and I do Discord game and all that. So
yeah,
So anyway,
yeah, see, anytime I'm on Discord to my wife, that is me playing the game. So it all adds up to that's the only thing I do.
So we got quite the show today, and we'll cover some of the stuff in the recent updates with game announcements and all of that. We'll talk about some of this industry stuff, and Taylor Rick will pick your brain as to your thoughts on these new ships and everything with that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then later on, we have Rosera going to be on the show, and he was in the audience. Oh yeah, I see him. He's in the audience. So after the commercial break, we'll be talking with Rosera and be talking about the BLAP incident that happened a couple weeks ago. Now, I know we couldn't cover it because we didn't have a show, but last weekend we were going to cover it until I had to cancel the show. So this time we're actually going to talk about it. And it is a little bit of old news, but I do still want to hear the story. And then after that, we will have Meliodas and Mackenzie with us. And I see they're also in the studio, so welcome.
Yeah. Great having you guys.
Yeah, thank you. And going into Federation announcements, what? No, I don't want to do that. Wrong Discord. So let's see here. We have the Content Creator Program. They did have a reminder for the deadline, which now it's been a couple of days ago. It was closed on May 31st. The final CC list will be announced in 1 week. So from the 31st, that's going to be here in a couple of days. So actually, what, tomorrow? Oh, no. Next Tuesday. So,
next Tuesday.
We will see who becomes new content creators, and I'm just interested to see, what kind of content that they'll be providing Eve Echo's community, and maybe they're already with us. Some of them have applied, and so we'll see if they get that badge. And so they just talked about that, and that's exciting. Actually, it was closer than I thought it would be. They had some Q&A, and shoot, this is between 5/18 and 5/24. It's already a couple weeks old. Should we cover this? You think people care?
We can real quick. I mean, so again, most of these questions are and answers are also so ridiculous. But sometimes it's okay to go through them. Makes you think at least. Sometimes you get some insight every once in a while into what the devs are thinking, even if the translation becomes an error.
Here's one
which I'll get into when we talk about the industry update stuff, because there's definitely some translation errors there. Either that or just outright misrepresentation. I can't really tell. So the first. Oh, you want to read them? Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah.
See, we're new. We're doing this all over again. It's like the very first time.
I'm going to skip a few of them because the answers are, thank you for your feedback, but there's no plans for to add this feature. I'm not even going to bother covering those. But with this one, is a Requal the only mining ship that will have mining drones, or will certain ships like the Covetor 2 be able to also use them? So they did add the 2 new drones with the mining capabilities, and the Exhumer and the heavy mining drone. The former is dedicated to the capital ship, and currently only the Rorqual can use it. The latter are normal drones that can be used by any ship with large drone launch tube. It's worth noting that Covetor 2 has medium drone launch tube, so heavy mining drones cannot be used on it.
Which is the opposite of what they said a week before the update.
Right?
It is.
Yeah, I know. Because people were saying, oh, snap, because we could put them on Covetor 2s. That's great.
That's right. Which would have made the Covetor 2 be able to mine more than an Orca, which is why they didn't do it.
Yeah. Here's one about contracts. Can you add the quality of life improvement for the contracts button by adding a little red icon next to it when you have a pending contract? Same thing as when you have a pending event or Concord Pass info. Sometimes you miss the initial notification when you log in. And they said, thanks for your suggestion. We'll add these 2 features in the future optimization plans. And that is a good idea. I think they should do that. And before we even got the notification that we have now, you didn't get anything. You had no idea that you had a contract. You actually had somebody message you and say, oh, the contract's up. But now when you log in, it'll say you have... Now when you log in, it says you have so many pending contracts, right? And so then you can it reminds you to click into that. But if you have a little red dot on the event page that won't go away, why can't we get a red dot on the contracts? Doesn't that make you mad? Yeah.
It just never goes. Or the opposite's happening now, where it never shows up, but yet you go into that screen and there are things that are there. It's like if someone's got like a yes and no, a 0 and a 1 backwards in the binary code.
So, yeah, that would be a quality of life improvement. Definitely, I'd enjoy that. And this latest announcement. So they had the maintenance yesterday, and we have a new event, the Navigator schedule. And the Navigator program is on again. Top up the total of 499 AUR to start this round of monthly skill points replenishment. Top up to a certain amount of AUR for additional rewards. Please refer to in-game description for details. So that's one of those things I'll never do.
Yeah, I remember I think the very first time they came out with it, I did it on one of my alts just to try to get him caught up. And I might do that again just to get him to the T10 faster. So even though that might annoy some people that they bring these things around every once in a while and it's always 500R, and it maybe you've done it before or you don't want to do it, you don't want to give them the money and all that kind of stuff. There's some people need that. It's useful to some people if they've got another alt in the game or they're just now getting into it, but they want to try to catch up for a certain ship because of the tech level system that needs to go away. That's a whole nother conversation, but it makes sense. And hey, it's just another way for them to make money that you can ignore as well if you don't want it.
Yeah, that is good for getting people caught up. I would say I had a new member join the Corp the other day, not even a week ago now. And he just started. He was T2, T3 when he applied to the Corp. He's like, oh, well, I'm going to see if I purchase this, purchase that, and if I can get up to T7. I was like, well, shoot, if you buy all 3 skill chips and start your training, you'll be T7 in like a month and a half, 2 months.
He did it in a week, right?
He did it overnight.
No, Jesus.
He bought the Omega special deals. Yeah, he did all the duo Omega stuff and got all the skill points from Omega special deal and all that. And he was T7, almost T8 on day 2. So it could be done. Yeah, it's just it'll cost you a little bit, but and he's hardcore into that. He played EO for 20 years, so he likes it.
And that right there is why they're not getting into the tier systems, because you just pay money to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, to each their own. Play the game how you want to.
So they implemented some optimizations. They updated the estimated prices, just like they do every week. And they have a search feature, which is enabled when limiting corporation mission candidates. Taylor, you'll be doing a little snippet on corporation missions soon, won't you?
Yeah. One of my little shorts I'll be doing.
Search feature is enabled when limiting corporation mission candidates. I'm trying to figure out how...
So I'll tell you what that is. So when you go in and you're trying to set up a corporation mission that you want to assign to, like, say, 4 guys, right now you just have to scroll through your entire list of everybody in your corporation to go and click on them. And sometimes just the scrolling of them, tapping on the screen to scroll, checks them. So you have to go back and uncheck them. And so you're playing this weird game where you have to sit and okay, I want 4 guys, right? And then I go through and click those 4 guys, then go back and it shows me how many guys out of the 157 have been checked. Well, 6. Well, shit, there's 2 that I accidentally clicked on. You go through the list again. Now you can go through there and just type in their name and go and get them real fast out of the list. You can search for the name. That's what they're talking about.
And
so that's really handy.
Yeah. So in the last couple of days, I've been using the corporation missions, and there was another one to where when you make the corporation mission, it seems to always check the same person no matter what. Like by default, one person always gets checked. And of course, it's never the person that you want, so you got to uncheck it and validate that person's not getting that mission. It's like, I don't want him having that mission. Just stop, right? So you have to pay attention to that type of stuff, yeah. Especially when it's not role specific too. When it's like when you're paying out to specific people, that's when you really got to pay attention. Because I also done that too. I was doing a test mission, and because there was some check mark that I didn't do, anybody was able to accept the mission. It was a whole whopping 1 ISK, but a random person was able to get it, and I was like, okay, well, that kind of defeated the purpose of the test anyway. But anyway,
yeah, they need to change. They need to make. There's always little adjustments I think they need to make to that system, but it's an excellent system. It's one of the best updates they've had all year, honestly. So if they would just make it to where when a member themselves wants to post up something, it doesn't necessarily just have to go up to the corporation. Like right now, if a member wants to just sell a ship, let's say they want to sell an interceptor that they built, well, they can sell it to the corp. Then the corp has to turn around and sell it to everybody else in the corp, right? But that individual member can't just openly put it up there for everybody else in the entire corporation to see and buy. So that's kind of odd. It's odd, but it's not. I understand why they didn't do it at first, because it is called the corporation market, as in the corporation's market, not the individual player's market. But I think they need to open that up. They need to do that. So,
alrighty. Then they added both ISK and points management permissions that are needed to be authorized when corporation mission permission is authorized. Okay, that just sounded totally weird. They enabled the corporation mission sharing feature, and they removed add-on structures in corporation mission locations. Okay, I hadn't used missions that much to really see some of these optimizations, but sure.
When you're trying to go through the list of where to, like if you want to do an assembly and you want people to show up at a specific spot, you don't want your structures listed. So
I think it's confusing enough, so I don't want to smoke my brain trying to think about all that stuff.
There's a lot there.
Yeah, there is a lot. They had some bug fixes. They fixed an issue where there's a lack of PvP content in the Concord Pass. Didn't we go through 7 seasons where there was no PvP content in Concord?
We did, and then they added it one time, and everybody was so happy, and then the next Concord comes out, and it's not there by accident, and everybody loses their brains. They just all lose their shit. So,
yep.
And then there it is. It's just an accident, which is good to hear, right, that it wasn't intentional. That's also bad that they didn't even pay attention, but whatever. Shit happens. So
they fixed an editing issue with the corporation mission input box. And they fixed an issue where the role settings screen in permission management couldn't be dragged down or up. So that was it.
Yeah, there was a thing too that they fixed, and I don't even think that's the same type of thing they're talking about, but when you would go into like a corporate purchase you put up, let's say you put up a buy order for 1 million of a specific PI, lucent compound, something like that. And 15 people went and filled various amounts of it. You could only see the first 4 or 5, and after that, you couldn't scroll through anymore. There was no scrolling of it. But they fixed that. So,
good deal. Well, Taylor, Rick, did you want to plug your recent content additions that you're going to do for us on the YouTube?
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. I've recorded a couple of them. Don't have the editing done yet, but I want to stage these out. I don't know when we'll release them. Try to do opposite of when the shows come out. So maybe like on Mondays, something like that. Mondays, Tuesdays. They'll be on YouTube. I call them Echoes of New Eden shorts. They're going to be 5-6 minutes apiece, real short. They're going to be specific topics related to the game that nobody else really talks about or covers. They won't, this real specific stuff. Granted, everybody's talked about insurance, but that's the first one that I'm going to put up is about an insurance fix that I have that I think the devs will actually listen to because it involves the corporations. The devs want this big push towards corporations, not so much towards larger alliances. They're doing all the things that they can to try to bulk up the resources of a corporation, like the new corporation missions and markets that we just talked about. So, I think this little solution I have, which would be very easy for them to implement, would actually push that into, put them on TikTok. That's good, Rosalind. That's where the kids are, right? But anyway, that's one of the first ones I'm going to be doing, and I'll put those out weekly. They should be fun. They should help push our YouTube channel content, and I'm looking forward to hearing everybody's feedback on it. And of course, giving me shit. That's always fun too.
And not about your pronunciation.
Not about my pronunciation. No, that's we give you shit for that.
Yeah.
But and yes, JD, you're right. Push capital remote shield reps. Yes. If you haven't seen that yet, over on the Discord, on the Eve Discord, there's actually a thing up there for that. You need to go vote for it. So.
All right. So, what do you think about these new ships?
So, yeah, I mean, at first I was excited as all shit. You know, the Orca, the Noctis is worthless. I mean, we built like 5 or 6 of them, and
I got one.
Handed them out. Yeah, I gave you one. I mean, it was kind of fun for a day. But that's funny. No.
Can I pause you for a second? You know what's funny is when I brought that to my home system and my wife saw it, she's like, "Who gave you that?" I was like, "It's top secret. I'm not telling you."
That was your plan.
He's like,
that was
"You
your
don't
plan
keep
right there.
secrets from your wife." I'm like, "Well, this is top secret. Never gonna know."
Never gonna know.
Like,
she doesn't listen to the show, just like my wife. Yeah.
Exactly. You'll never know. But anyway, go on.
No. So we started digging into the whole Orca versus the Rorqual, and how many we're going to have, and does an Orca really replace a Cov 2? And it kind of does, but it kind of doesn't. Like, you have to get to a certain number of coveters in a fleet to where the Orca really starts to really shine. Otherwise, it just barely outpaces it, even with full-blown skills and everything. So it's been a little bit of an eye-opener over the last week, really trying to play with the numbers and look at what we can do. And of course, the thing that just broke my damn heart, you guys are going to cry when you hear this. You're just going to cry. So, large ore debris drops non-stop in one of my systems. Every single large anomaly drops. 10 to 20 of them. We had hundreds, if not thousands. Never could use them for anything. Scrapped the motherfuckers about a month ago and stopped, maybe 2 months ago, and stopped collecting them. I mean, oh my God. Now they're only in the capital quarries.
Visit
JD's
system.
Having a good time in the chat.
Yeah.
Michael JD is having a great time in our on-air chat right now. What is it you want me to say?
C137 is currently moving out of all of their systems. They are evacuating.
We are currently moving out because he's telling everybody to come to Declan. It's easy enough to find on a map. It's MXX and 01Y. That's fine. That's where we are. It's not as if we don't have roams coming through our areas all the time.
Yeah, like you already don't get seen, right?
Exactly. You can look at the map. I mean, what the hell? Squatch. Anyway, join Silent Fed. Our on-air chat is always lit, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not a member of the Discord and not in our on-air chat, you really should be, because it's just hysterical. It's always good fun. So we have a great time. Yeah, come cuddle with the Care Bears and Declan.
So anyway, you have a plethora of Oryx?
No, we don't. We have none. We've had to farm them all from these capital quarries now, where they come from. It's ridiculous. So
yeah,
it just made me cry. And I'm sure we're not the only ones in that same boat. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
You know, when that anomaly dropped, I was actually happy to see another special anomaly. Like rallies and special rallies weren't already enough. But these quarries are, just another special anomaly that, have that rare spawn, I suppose. And my system probably didn't get one until like 2 or 3 days after. Like, some people were getting them right away, but I hadn't seen one until at least 2 or 3 days after that update. And so then all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, they started popping up. But it could have been like a bug fix. Maybe the game screwed up some of the spawn rate percentages. Don't know.
So here's the funny thing about the way that those spawn. All 3 of the capitals spawn the same way. First off, they don't spawn at the same time. right? So if you've got a rally up, you're not going to get one of the other two up. Same thing with the quarry. If it's up, you're not going to get one of the other two up. You have to clear that before another one comes up. Your percentage chance of them popping starts on a Monday for some stupid-ass reason on a Monday. And the percentage chance of them popping as the week goes on goes down. I almost never see them pop on a Saturday or Sunday. Although, you're right, something did change on Tuesday, Wednesday's update because a quarry popped on Sunday in one of my systems. Never had a capital anomaly pop on a weekend, ever. So I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with the mechanics there. That might change on us a little bit. We'll have to see.
Maybe your members just don't tell you, so you don't show up to the anomalies. You get enough of them as it is.
Maybe I do whore them sometimes. So
you know, and you're talking about, before the show, we were talking about the Rorqual and how much insurance points it has. I actually have a Rorqual on the Fulmination server. I'm sitting here looking at it, and you wanted to know how much insurance points that it costs, right?
Yep.
Well,
hit me with it.
Here's where the bummer is. This Fulmination is broke to the point where I don't see the insurance points compensation price. I'm staring at the insurance points on the Rourke right now, and it says estimated market price of 0. And original compensation price is 0 IP. Minimum compensation price is 0 IP. So
they're free.
Right. Yeah. Just, I don't know. Just, I mean, if I go into, because I got trillions worth of stuff on this dang server, if I go into maybe another ship that's been in the game for a while, say my Nightmare that's worth 1 trillion, I do have I have a trillion market value in this Nightmare, by the way. And if I were to go into insurance, no, it's zeroed out. So can't even tell you if I wanted to.
My guess is it's going to be close to 100,000. If a fully fitted, paid in front carrier is around 70, 75, then I would bet that the Rook has got to be around 100. Because a carrier is about 64 parts and a Rook is about 106 parts.
Yeah.
So
now, have you seen too many orcas out and about and people talking about them just yet?
Seen people talking about them. I know there's a few out and about. I have not seen one 100 billion Rourke. That's a Maddie. Exactly.
He would. Hey, yeah, wasn't Maddie the first Noctis death? Or someone is, I seen that earlier. Somebody was the first Noctis death, and I think it was Maddie.
Just a Noctis? That doesn't, that's nothing.
He had a PvP fit Noctis. I've seen kill mails with Noctis on them, by the way, already too.
That's funny. Yeah, everybody tries to figure out some way to turn everything into a PvP ship. I love it. Even a humpback. Those humpback high mobilities are pretty beefy, though.
Yeah, so one thing I wanted to add about the Orca is when I was testing it on the Fulmination server, you know, and I skilled into all the skills that I needed, 554, so that's pretty realistic, I guess. I put the remote drones on there, and you know, I basically fit it, right? We didn't have the rigs at the time, the codes for the rigs when I tested this, so my numbers are a little bit skewed, but granted, even though the Orca holds so much more ore than compared to the Cover 2, I must have been mining for an hour, and I only hit 81%.
So the Orca is already on the Sweet app. Sweet is SWEET. It's on iPad and on Apple and Android phones. Just search for Sweet app. The Orca is already there. So is the Rorqual. So you can sit and fit it and play with it and get it to where you want the, a decent fitting. So you can play with your skills too. So you can kind of see where you're running. If you're maxed skilled and you have a basic fit on an Orca, it's 31 minutes to fill it. That's without integrated rigs or anything. That's 200,000 meters cubed in 31 minutes. So that's faster than a Covenant 2, period, no matter what else you did.
Right. So that was just my experience on the Fulmination server, however. Now, I do know of somebody who does have one, and I was asking questions extensively to it, and what he was saying was that it wipes about 3 belts before it fills up. I don't know. That's pretty crazy.
I don't know. Warping around in that thing. I don't know how fast it is to warp.
I don't know. Well,
Bam's gonna
actually,
have to tell me that
I know how fast it warps because I can warp. I warped when I was on Fulmination. I logged out when I was mining because I was tired of mining, and so I just logged out of the belt that I was at. And then when I went to log in again to check the Rorqual insurance, I had to warp to my Citadel. It's not that bad. I would say it's the same as Coveter, maybe a little worse, but it's. I want to say it was something. If you don't have stabs, it's upwards of like 40 seconds, depending on skills.
Yeah, they're saying 42 seconds. Snacks is saying 42 seconds of line time, which of course you can web it, and that helps. Or do a micro warp drive. Trade.
Yeah. So another thing about this Orca is the in the beginning, right? You couldn't trade the ore debris on a market. Is that a bug? Is I hearing that right?
Yeah, that was a bug for like a day and a half, and they fixed it pretty fast. They didn't let that go for too long. And then when they patched that, you could trade those again, but then there was something else that now all of a sudden was tradable, but wasn't tradable, and then like a day later they put a patch out for that as well. So I don't know of what they did there.
At least they're fixing it.
Yeah, they fixed it pretty quick too. Oh, and by the way, if you have skills, the ore hold is 250,000 meters cubed, not 200,000 meters cubed. So I was just corrected on that.
Yeah. The absurd amount
of Rorqual debris. Yeah, it was the Rorqual debris you couldn't trade as well.
Oh, okay. The cost of these Orcas are just insane right now. So
yeah, the first one we built, I almost sold. I almost went and sold it. But
I've seen them for 12 plus billion.
Yep. Well, the build cost is 1.3, guys. So that's all blueprint right there. That's just the ore prices with the blueprint. So
yeah, that's the ore debris crap. Which I also noticed capital debris is like stupid cheap nowadays.
Yep.
I don't check the market often. I don't check the market like at all. I have court members that do that. I don't do that.
I wish I had court members that would check the market and update our sheets, but I have to do that. So we're in a D Corp, so that means someone has to do it every damn day.
Well, you have to pay them.
So I check them. Well, I do pay people. I don't know what the fuck they do, but I pay them.
You must have a union working for you, because damn, ain't nobody doing anything.
The fucking GM employees union. What do you about BAM Inc.? I don't want to insult BAM. Actually, I will insult BAM, because sometimes he does shit, and I'm like, what the fuck? Or doesn't do things. Like, put stuff in the build for a day.
Yeah. So when are we going to start seeing some of these Rorks come off the line?
So it's a 20-day build time as soon as you get a blueprint and you have good skills. If you have good skills, I'm getting shitty messages. Anyway, because they're all here to listen and I love it. Anyway, so no, it's a 20-day build time if you have good skills. And of course you have to get the debris, and it's 80 debris just to get you a shot at the blueprint. And you want to go get the yellow decryptors, give you a 30% boost to that. Obviously, if you've got one of those structures that allows you to do a little bit of improvements to your percentage, if you wasted money doing that anyway, then there you go, do it there. But you're probably only going to get snacks. You tell me. I think on the Orca, the highest we could get was 97%, and that was with perfect skills for reverse engineering. 94%, sorry, for perfect skills. So on the work, I bet you it's less. I bet you it's like 88, 84, somewhere in there. Even if you have good skills, the decryptors and the whole 9 yards. So it's a roll of the dice, but we'll see. Snacks is going to 97. There you go. So 97 on the rook. That means you're probably going to get it. So that's good. So once someone gets a BP going, 80 debris, and you get about 12 or so per quarry. So that's a lot of quarries you got to run, or just go buy them. So
it becomes a triage.
Work. Yeah, because what's interesting about that is they went and put the ability for that thing to put remote shield reppers in the high slots. But those are regular remote, the larges, right? They're not capital, they're just larges. So, I mean, they're going to rep your Cov 2 for you, and they're going to rep the Orcas. They're not going to do much for capital. You're going to need multiple. But they have a jump drive, so maybe we'll see. Yeah, they don't have cap remote shields in the game yet. Nope, they don't. So they need to. They need to add them. That'd be fun. And they need to put high slots in the carriers. And there you go. Now we've got some serious...
yeah, put high slots in the carriers.
So...
So, do you know about how much in click costs it is to make a Rourke?
I do. So, I'll go pull it up for you here real quick and tell you.
'Cause I heard 20. I don't know if that's accurate.
It's pretty close. So the work wool is, you got $3.5 million just to hit the final build button. You got $15.9 billion for all of the individual fees of building all the parts. There's 106 parts. You got $3.18 billion in just buying the blueprints. That's the part blueprints, not the blueprint for the ship. Then you got another $5.5 billion in minerals, $4.5 billion in planetary. So I mean, and this is, none of this includes the blueprint. So, which is 80 debris, which right now are going for 200 and some odd million, 250 billion or so, 250 million, I think actually. When I looked at it last, it was 250 million apiece. I need 80 of them. So
I wasn't doing the quick math. So approximately how much is that?
Oh, okay. The whole thing that I just listed off was 32.2 billion.
What?
Yeah. So
That's
if you look
stupid.
at the blueprint, you're looking at closer to 40. If you look at fitting it, you're probably looking at closer to 50, 55, somewhere in there. Just the button presses without doing anything. Buying the blueprints and pressing the buttons. And this does not include the actual Rourke final blueprint itself. Is 22.58 billion.
I'll probably never get one.
I'm going to build 3. I'm kidding. I'm not going to build 3.
I'll build 3. I'll have them next month. No way am I going to be able to. I can barely afford what I have now, let alone get one of those for 40 plus billion fitted. Yeah, I was going to say, I need to take a loan out from Pay to Win. Maybe he can help me out. Content creator bonus. Yeah, I'll need a payment. So,
Sun Banana, we need 100 Workles.
wow.
Oh my God. No less than 100. Oh Lord. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking that, with people in these orcas and Rourkes, they're going to be, these corporations are going to be hating the buyback system because they're just going to get so much ore, or it's going to drive a lot of prices down.
Yeah, I'm already staring at that, wondering what in the hell I'm going to do when we've got 20 orcas in the field and a Rourke or 2 in the field. Like, there's only so much that I can do juggling with the ore income nonstop and the ships going out and trying to make sure we don't lose money. And yeah, because, and I know, and then this isn't a new thought. Someone's going to get mad that I mentioned this, but this is not a new thought. I know it's going to happen. You're going to have a Rourke fleet somewhere in nullsec, and it's going to have a full 500,000 cubic meters of compressed ore, which is 100 times denser than just regular ore. So that's like saying there's 5 million cubic meters of ore in their hold, and they're going to jump that thing into low sec, stick it in a freighter, and haul its ass up to Jita to sell it. Goodbye, market.
Mm-hmm.
Goodbye, market. So...
So I'm going to be
fun to find those, though. It'll be fun to find those and blow them up.
Right.
Snacks is like, yep, I will.
All right. So we're going to be cutting to a commercial break here in just a second, but I did want to say I had a member that was actually entertained at the Jita market the other day watching the ORE debris fluctuate. They were traveling like insane ups and downs. He's like, yeah, I'm just watching this roller coaster. I buy when it's high. I mean, he buys when it's low and he sells when it's high. That's all he did for like an entire day. I don't even know how much money he had, but yeah, he buys high, sells low. Yeah.
Yeah, he's an ape over on Wall Street Bets.
Then I found out that he was selling my debris, the ones that I earned in my loot share. I'm like, those are my debris. I want them. Don't sell them. He's like, no, you got to profit off the whales. I was like, yeah, you got a point. Anyway. I was like, I got capitals to build. I mean, I got Orca to build or whatever. Anyway, we'll cut to a commercial. I got some new commercials, and then soon after, we will have Rosera with us. So, catch you in a bit.
All right.
You're listening to Echoes of New Eden.
Counselors, I ask you to heed the call of rebellion. The blue donut is broken. The powers that be are changing. And this time the revolution is now. Join us, comrades, in the Rebel Alliance in Tenephorus.
Phenomenally overpowered and integrated industrialized laser lighting strip mining coveter 2s. Phenomenally overpowered and integrated industrialized laser lighting strip mining coveter 2s. Phenomenally overpowered and integrated industrialized laser lighting strip mining coveter 2s. Hi, I'm Cal Scarge from Master and Barges and CEO of Phenomenally Overpowered and Integrated Industrialized Laser Lighting Strip Mining Coveter 2 Emporium and Warehouse. Due to a lack of buy orders, I am currently overstocked with phenomenally overpowered and integrated industrialized laser lighting strip mining coveter 2s, and I'm passing the savings on to you! Need to use Corp buyback? Fill those orders. Cloak when enemies enter system. Smash rocks for hours. Never attend CTAs. Have really blingy lost mails. Annoy your courtmates by blasting techno music. Or just mine AFK while you work all day. Whatever your phenomenally overpowered and integrated industrialized laser lighting strip mining coveter 2 needs are. Come on over to CalScarge's phenomenally overpowered and integrated industrialized laser lighting strip mining coveter 2 Emporium and Warehouse today. 0V0R Declan.
Do you like that?
How many times did you have to record that to not fuck it up? That was great.
You know, here, when I was recording that, I thought that I was going to have a blooper reel, but it actually only took me 2 takes. Because I actually wanted to make a blooper reel, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I did it so fluid in the first couple takes to where I literally didn't have enough for a blooper reel.
You must have integrated rigs on every single ship you fly.
Phenomenally overpowered.
Because you say, yeah, phenomenally overpowered. You must say it a lot, and that's why it went so easy for you. That was great. I loved it.
So, anyway. So, what happened with BLAP? Did you hear about this?
I did. I heard about it a couple different ways, and then really started to hear more about it last week. But there was a few posts that kind of surprised me, and then boom, there it was. BLAP, it was gone. So even spoke with Rosalind a little bit about it as well.
I heard snippets, and I think I even read some of the Reddit articles. I think Kylo Ren posted an article on it.
Yeah, he did.
It's been a while since I've read it anyway. So, but yeah, it was very interesting to see how all that went down, and we just got out of this coalition war too, and it's all of a sudden, they're out of the game. So today we have Rosera with us. So Rosera, I hope you're ready. I'm going to be unmuting
you. Surprise.
And let's see. Here we go. Rosera, you should be able to talk now.
I just have to unmute all the other things that I have muted.
Right. Yes. First time, is it? So welcome, Rosera. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for having me.
And hopefully I'm saying your name right. I have that problem. So
I'm not picky.
So last week before the show, we were wanting to talk about that before my power went out, and we kind of like somewhat agreed that you'd be on the show to talk about what happened with BLAP. But who were you in BLAP? Did I hear that you were a previous executor?
I got to click the buttons as it all went away.
Oh, so you're that guy.
I got to, yeah, I'll get into the real story, but yes, not only was I was the live executor, but I clicked all the buttons, all of them. Which was hitting confirm a lot. Do you know how many times you have to hit confirm when you do this? It's every single time. It's not like you can hit a checkbox and you're like, are you sure you want to do this? It's like, yes, I know there's 13 more, but please don't ask me. Oh, here we go.
So are you sure you want to put your left leg into the pants? Yes. Are you sure you want to put your right leg into the pants? Yes. Do you want to do both of these at the same time? Yes. Oh, shit, no.
So I'm just going to ask the question. I mean, because I don't know, but what happened?
What happened? So, all right. So we do have to, take a step back a few weeks, right? Because, we were fine. If you go back 2 weeks ago, there's very few problems in the BLAPverse, right? Except for our name.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, we were BLAP Ghost Feet, not Fleet, Feet. Because when Dracus was making the alliance, he panicked because Fleet was already taken, so he did a capital I.
Oh God.
Nice.
All right, but that's all old news now because we're dead, right? But yeah. So we go back 2 weeks, and we kind of expected something was going to start, right? Because our relationships with Fear were not great, right? Fear was once a part of us. The Fear is the two main corps in Fear. I'm going to actually go three since is Hell, Bant, and Osai. And they were a part of us, for since when we were Pandemonium and we were fighting for Delph. But the split, I'm going to say, was not amicable. Can't do that word tonight. It was not great, right? So, I mean, there's people in our leadership channels that the instant they left, the betrayal was there, and we need to set them red and remove them right now. But we were like, no, we can talk this through. We can get through this. We can, these are people that we're friends with.
Yeah.
And then the Gen War ended. We unblued the universe, and TSC breaks a nip, and Fear decides that they can't 1v1 us, so they hire BRR. So we go from one day, everything's great, to I get messages from people like, hey, you're about to get hit, to everything's reinforced. Not only are all of the citadels reinforced, people are talking about there's 20 plus player stations reinforced as well. Mind you, we're not a big group, so it's not like they had a ton of work, but that means a coordinated strike between these two units. There was some talk. I can't believe they both came to this conclusion like, hey, as soon as they drop tags with the big meanies up north that we don't want to actually deal with, we're going to do this. Because that's what ended up happening. As soon as we weren't blue with the universe, Diplo went south with Fear, and to be fair, we knew that what we were talking about with them was going to be contentious. It's player station spots. And if anyone doesn't know what dealing with that nightmare is in this game, you haven't played this game yet.
Yeah.
So we were talking with Fear, and we're like, hey, let's do this player station swap. We'll be out of your hair. We'll be out of your hair, and we can just ignore each other, and we can just, be friendly blues. Or unfriendly blues, however it worked out. But Diplo talks broke down, and I'm not going to get into the details. They did. They broke down, and then we were fighting, right? And I wouldn't call it I wouldn't say fighting. There was lots of things that came up, right? We were like, well, are we going to fight this? Are we going to, who can we get to help us do this? And it was what we ended up realizing, and why BLAP ended up dying, is we realized that our options were get smaller in Delve, right? We were going to lose space to these guys. Or because our relationships would probably be irrevocably damaged, we would have to remove both Fear and TSC from Delve. And that's not a reality. That wasn't a reality for us. So we packed our bags and we went home. And for most of us, that's going to be OG. Some of us are going to go other places. Some of us are like, no, we're not packing our bags, and they're staying there and they're still fighting. They're going to be there for months. They're just going to live out of NPC stations and be annoying. All right, cool. I'm not the executor anymore. I can't tell you what to do, so go have fun.
Yeah, guerrilla tactics like that can be a lot of fun.
It can be a lot of fun. There's also the TT68 Chinese Alliance there in Delve, and some of my guys are going to be working with them. And
I was going to ask you about them because they're still blue with Fear and these other guys, right?
No, they're red.
Okay,
TSC is trying to remove them as well.
They're trying to move them as well. Okay, so it's a full out, all over the place mess. Gotcha.
Yeah, Delve is. Yeah, if you want to go have fun, Delve is the place to be because everyone except for Fear and TSC are fighting. Like we've had. TSC is trying to consult. I don't know if they're. Actually, they might be because there might have been a chance for before our shenanigans went down. I mean,
that's what it feels like to me.
If you're asking me 2 weeks ago if I would have worked with TSC to form a stronger Delve, coalition just for mutual protection, and I would tell you yes, I would have formed a mutual protection pact between both of those groups for the mutual benefit of Delve. But, here we are, right? Now we're downgrading stations. We're getting out what we can. There's been some losses. There's always a loss when you move across the universe.
Yeah. That's always tough. You're going to lose players. You're going to lose people that want to log back in again.
Yeah.
Actually, if anything, our player count has gone up, at least for my corp. Maybe it's the excitement of new space because one of the things, it's like, is this horrible? Yeah, sure, it's horrible. People are like, oh man, I'm leaving so much stuff in, Emotech. Emotech was the NPC station that, and I'm like, cool, who cares? It's just space stuff. I'm telling my people, take one combat ship for PvE, take your miner, and then we will build everything else up there and they're like, but what do I do with the rest of this? Who cares? Leave it there.
Yeah.
Maybe one day. Yeah. Maybe one day I tell you we're going to do something out of Emotech, and you're really like, but that's why we left ships there. Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, like people are, and I mean maybe some of this activity is people going, oh my god, I have to move my shit. But at the same time, maybe it's also the excitement of moving out of stagnation. A little bit of moving around is good. It's stagnation. We talk about this, this game sometimes, and stagnation can be bad if you're not.
Oh, very much so.
So I'm kind of looking at that as an opportunity. Most of core BLAP 2 is going to orgy and orgy.
Going to orgy, have an orgy. That sounds okay. Let's talk about that. Which server is that going to be on?
New Alliance orgy.
OG, it is OG.
I know.
I cannot pronounce anything.
You heard it first here, folks.
Anything to drink. Maybe I need to.
You heard it first here, folks. Orgy, New Alliance calling it.
But I'm excited for it. Is there going to be hardship? Sure. Am I going to lose a few players? Sure. But I mean, who hasn't lost players in this game over a decision?
Yeah, sure.
So, the only thing that most of my guys are sad about is they have not had a chance to play with the new ships yet.
Yeah, because when you're in the middle of doing everything you're doing, you're not really able to build up with the kind of level you need for that shit. Because that's a lot.
I mean,
But you'll
we
get
could probably, if we had a blueprint for a roll, I could click that. We have the ISK, I've got the minerals, I've got the PI. It's all sitting in Emotech because we moved most of that, and we were sitting on a stockpile just for that reason. So we'll build capital parts, we'll move them out as, one at a time or multiples at a time, however we feel safe doing it. Emotech is not that far from K4.
No.
So, and even if we build a ship, it's easy enough to get a capital, having moved a bunch of capitals out of Emotech straight through K4. It's really easy to get a capital out. Oh, look, I'm the only one in K4. Light Sino. Hit a few buttons on the capital, unless they're waiting on the other side to jump through and, light a Hector bubble or something. You're through that gate before most people know. Moving Sino alts, we're already out, Michael JD. I say this, and the reason why I say this is because we've already saved our capitals. We did it last week. It was one of the first things I made sure we did. I was like, hey, guys, get your capitals out now. And we're like, what about our Citadels? Like, I don't care about your Citadel. I moved 3 capitals out, and that's the cost of your entire Tier 3 Citadel.
Exactly. Yeah, I did hear about this gravy train that I missed when you guys were moving a whole bunch of heavy metals in like 15 nearest twos or something. Like, I would have loved to have been around for that.
Let me tell you, I have moved in nearest twos. I have moved upwards of 20 million M3. Some of that just a single jump.
Good God.
Because 1DQ, which was one of our primary systems, was where we kept. It was our manufacturing citadel for ERP. I think we had 20 million M3 minerals PI combined.
Jesus.
That's still there. That's all sitting there in Emotech. The buyback system that we were running, that's still there too. That's sitting on 60 billion in minerals and PI. People ask, what are we going to do with that? Well, we'll need some PI down the road, and instead of buying it from Jita, I'll run to the old buyback system and I'll load up an interceptor and yeah, like Rosalind, I did 60 nearest. Like I really have to hand it out to my guys and to everyone in ERP and the rest of the alliance who helped and managed to do this and did it without like, why are we doing this? What's going on? Like, people just did it. Right? Like, it could have been a mess. It could have been a disaster. People could have been confused. But, our relationships with fear was to the point where most people were like, no, it like, they got it, right? They're like, no, like, it's either us or them. And in this case, it had to be us.
Well, I feel for you. Anytime you work for something like that and you build something up and you have an area and you have your guys and you're doing your thing and then you lose it, it's gut-wrenching. So,
yeah.
But,
and we've got some good fights from them, defending the citadels to get them downgraded too, right? I have to give it to, TSC and Fear. We've managed to form up a couple times. I have to also call out thank you to No, who's been helping us a little bit with this here and there, helping us defend our timers. Like, we would not have defended the timers we have had so far without their assistance, and Ret C as well. Ret C has been a huge help.
Good.
They're the main reason we went to war with Jen, because we were hard blue with Ret C. So when Jen attacked Ret C, we were like, nope, we're in. Like, no one else was in yet, and we were in. So, hard blue sounds dirty, doesn't it? Doesn't it sound dirty? Yeah.
Sounds.
And are we still hard blue with Red Sea? Yeah, but it's now based, it's Corp versus Corp now, right? We don't have an alliance anymore. But, Red Sea has been helping us out a ton. So.
Yeah.
So is Tuna the Corp that's staying?
God, what is Tuna doing? I think Tuna is going to move out. They're a relatively smart. XVI is staying. I know for a fact XVI is staying because they're in TT68 right now. But they're still, if you want to know where I've been hanging out, is Tuna in TT68? All right, class. Yeah, I'm not the executor anymore, so I don't have to know where all these guys are. But I know
that part's freeing, right? Things are off your plate, and you can just play the game.
So, like, I got messages from people, like, when it was going down, and they're like, how do you feel? And I'm like, I'm free, motherfuckers. I am free. I don't have to make, like, I only have to worry about, and I told my guys, it's like, I want to get all of you guys safe. I want to get, and if I conclude all my guys, it's not just Erp. I want to make sure Tuna's safe. I want to make sure Uni is taken care of. Zaz, all of these guys, I want to make sure they find a good home. And then when that happens, I'll be truly free. And I'll only have to worry about Erp.
Yeah, you can focus back onto the corp level stuff. Sometimes that's better.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is.
And being an executor of an alliance or upper leadership, because I've been upper leadership since for a year.
Yeah, that sucks, JD says. Yeah, exactly.
Sucks. And I was upper leadership in Pantheon, really, before I was upper leadership in BLAP. But,
God.
Right? So I had, right?
So what you're basically saying right here is if you want to have an alliance go to shit, we should put you in leadership of. No, I'm kidding. I couldn't help it.
You hear that, OG?
Hey, if you
hear that, OG?
Hey, you want me to click all the buttons to make it go away? I will happily click all the buttons with no remorse. I got messages from people like, that was savage. Like, I'm sitting there live doing the fireside, right? The last fireside. And I'm like, hey guys, so it's all going away now. We're dead. Things are going to get nuts. And I started going down the list and I'm like, and you go. Oh, there's Erp, and you go.
Wow.
Meanwhile, Kylo is, spamming what's left of Alliance chat with Rip Blap.
Yeah.
Blap goes Blap.
Oh yeah, we should be. There's Santiago wearing one of the Pantheon T-shirts that our former executive Dracus. I need to. Oh, I wonder if the store went away. Oh well, I have a Blap T-shirt. By the way, if you have questions, I am reading the chat right now. I will happily answer.
Yeah, the chat seems to go pretty fast sometimes. You got to be careful with.
Yeah, I bet. Michael JD, I totally agree with you. The Pantheon War. I wish we could have lasted a little bit longer as Pantheon there, because that was, except for the black screen of death that we seem to get a lot with that. Like, by far, some of the best fights and long fights and all of that was that war. Just never before, and hopefully we see it again, but man, we'd form up 200 to 300, you guys would form up 200 to 300, and we'd brawl.
Mm-hmm. And it'd be hours and hours.
Oh.
Yeah,
people would be like, did you work today? And it's like, oh, well, I clocked in today.
I clocked in. Yeah.
But nothing, we're like, the Panth War was fantastic. And I mean, I'm having fun with some of these smaller 50 on 50. When are we going to get a good tie-dye capital fight? Like, come on, when is that coming?
Well, there have been several.
We thought it was going to be last war.
Yeah,
I know.
Not as many as we wanted, not as big as we wanted, but there have been a few. And I'm sure it's coming.
Yeah, I hope so.
I could tell you where I think it's going to come from first, but JD would shoot me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And the shit talking's going on now.
Yeah, I see. Well, I mean, that's what happens, right? There's a lot of.
That's the fun part of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the fall of another alliance. Yeah, sure. It's sad, but it's a new chapter in your guys' gameplay with all those corps and everything, and down to general membership as to what they're going to do. And I do know of some that have left and went elsewhere, simply because I see applications. But, you said you're growing too, so that's still good too.
Yeah.
Well, is it growth, or is it that person who hasn't played in 3 months saw the Discord ping and was like, well, maybe this will be something to do? Either way, I'm all right with it. All right with it.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
So why OG?
So, and I kind of have to put this on Dracus. Dracus has been talking them up for quite a while. He really, and this is one of the reasons why I considered it, he felt like our communities would mix well. Both me and Dracus are, especially this orgies. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take that to them and be like, oh, I'm
You
sorry,
really
guys.
do.
Yeah,
You need to have shirts that say OG stands for orgies.
yeah, I think I'm gonna have to talk to Dracus about getting new. But basically, it was a community mix. I want, like, what's the most important thing? What keeps people playing? The community. So we want to keep that rolling. We want to keep the community together. That's why a good chunk of us are going to the same place. It's to keep us, the core group, together. I mean, we have I'm sure lots of groups have this, but there's a group of us that are, in Discord for 9 hours a day. And, some of it's because I clock in at work at, in the morning, and I'm like, well, I can either be alone all day and with my thoughts, or I can clock into Discord.
I could do this thing called work, but that's also a 4-letter word. So yeah.
Well, I'm not going to say that I don't occasionally, if things get complicated enough, do I leave Discord? And of course I do. I'm a good worker. Make sure my shit gets done. But I also know that I would not have survived the last couple of years just hanging out by myself alone in my house for 9 hours a day, just me and the terrorist.
Yeah. I guess we kind of forget about that. Or at least I know I do. It was different for me, than most. But this game came along and started to take off during the pandemic, really, and during a time when a lot of people were at home, not able to do a whole lot or get out a whole lot. Working from home is a different thing altogether than working in the office or wherever. So, but yeah, no, it's, yep, got to do something.
The game went live in September?
August of 2020.
August?
Yeah.
August, right? So, I mean, we weren't, by the time Christmas rolled around, that's when you start to hear the first inklings that something was going to be, maybe this next year's going to be crazy. We didn't know how crazy yet. We just, there was, that's when you start to hear the first news articles.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then 3 months later, we're all staring at each other, and probably numbers in New Eden were probably never better.
I'm sure they were extremely high during that first 6 months.
Oh yeah, the Content Coalition War had the peak of CTA attendance, but since then we haven't seen anything like it. SHH had one battle that was tie-dyed, but since then nothing.
Yeah. There was one that was tilted like that, and with FF. There was a couple that I was involved in August of last year, around the 1-year anniversary of the game, and there was still a little bit of that. But yeah, it's definitely come down since then, since the Chinese server split.
Since Diablo Immortals came out. Half these people's corporations
so far
are leaving. I've seen Santiago posting screenshots. He's playing that over there. Maybe he'll be good over there. We'll see.
Oh.
All right. Well, I guess if there's no other questions there, we have some other we had some other stuff.
Last minute. Any last minute questions? I mean, hell, I'm here. I was in Panth leadership. You can ask me a Panth question if you feel like. I was in those channels when everything went downhill in that one too.
Hey, we'll have to have you on for another show. We're going to have a history episode.
Yeah.
All that.
Where banana? You know what? That's the same question we had. Like,
yes, pineapple on pizza.
You want to know one of the big problems that happened at the end? We didn't realize that Banana had taken a break and not told anyone.
Oh, Jesus.
Before the fact that by the time we realized and that someone needed to step into leadership, the other groups had figured it out and were like, well, we don't want to step into leadership, so we're out.
Yeah. When it started to fall really fast.
It,
Yeah, it was
there
overnight.
was probably
Same thing with GenFed. Yeah.
There was,
GenFed was slower. GenFed was just a touch slower as far as when the fall started.
there was like a 1 week to like 1.5 week period there at the end of the Panth War when we were trying to figure out, okay, what's our best option for surviving this? Because as something that I think a couple groups have figured out, it's really hard to defend these citadels that they all happily want us to have 1 million of. At least that's been my experience, is that defending a citadel, unless you're really lucky, it's kind of hard. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe someone will correct me, but that's just been my experience so far. They're good at getting content. They're good at that. But do I want to defend a citadel? Not really. It's kind of boring. I want the fight that it generates,
Right?
but I don't want to
Yes.
actually. I don't want to do it, the rest of it. But so we were like talking about how do we consolidate, let's slam all of Pantheon, and we knew we were going to break apart then, but it was like maybe the Delve portion survives because we slammed, Happy Bees and BLAP and TSC into one of the pockets. So we put 3,000 players into a pocket, and we couldn't get that because we had no leadership push to get that push going. And that was one of the last things we were discussing, was that right there was, let's take all of us and compress it into one pocket. Is it going to suck? Yeah, it's going to suck because ratting is going to suck, and this is going to suck, and that's going to suck. But maybe when No and SHH come to take a citadel, we'll just, because the TSC pocket, and that's the one we were considering, it's a pipe into any of their stuff. We just have 2,000 pilots in that pipe, and we go, okay, you've got to break through 2,000 of us. And then it was just wait out the war, because see if they lose interest and then go rebuild. But we never got that far.
Nah, it came down too fast.
Banana was gone, and then no one knew that he was gone to step into that vacuum to start getting things going.
Wow, crazy stuff.
Yep,
Crazy
all good.
stuff.
Thank you for coming on, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I
We're going to
appreciate
review the history show. We'll have you on again. I'm sure we'll have a lot of different people on for that show, going over all the history of Eve Echoes. If you didn't know about the Discord, by the way, that's showcasing the history of Eve on the Echoes side of things, there's several people putting that together. I know JD's in the chat right now. He should put up a link to that if anybody wants to go and join. It's got a shit ton of content over in it. Already. They've done a good job of curating it. People from all over the map are in it, talking and going through some of these old wars, all the way back from the beginning, all the way up to now. So if you want to go and join that, you can. Let's see.
Yep.
What?
So Rosera, we'll keep you unmuted, and if you want to chime in, and we'll have Meliodas. Meliodas, I hope you're ready, and Mackenzie, I'll be unmuting you here in a second, and Meliodas has a song to sing for us, I hear. What's up, Meliodas?
Well, no, never.
No, I thought you were going to sing us a sea shanty.
Ozzy is speaking very highly of you. You're gonna sing us a sea shanty.
Rambo can't say it.
He set me up. He can do it better.
How's it going, Mackenzie?
How's it going?
I'm good. It's been a while. How are you?
Oh, doing well. You are low on my end. Holy smokes.
Yeah, sometimes I come to other people's show and then I have to increase the gain on the mixer, so forgive me for that one.
Stay where you're at. I'll adjust on my end. But yeah, thank you for joining in. Meliodas, how goes it?
It's wonderful. I'm loving the game, enjoying a little bit of Diablo nowadays because I get to... I changed my name over there because I don't want to run another corp or whatever it is that people make their plans. So I'm just changing my name and just playing now and then for funsies to be able to get away from Discord, to be honest. Because, oh man, now it's all I don't know, when I play, I'm like mostly stuck in Discord. I'm trying to like give away all the tasks, but it still like keeps getting back to me. I don't know.
That's how it is, dude. I told you. When you get in
Yeah.
the seat, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Mackenzie, are you on the Diablo Immortal train as well?
No. I played Diablo with my ex some time ago, and unfortunately, I don't have any
Bad memories?
room for any more. No, no. I mean, it's a stellar game. It's just with the Immortals thing. I thought about downloading it, then I heard about the pay to win aspect, and I have enough of those in my life, you know.
It's
So
next Lee's again, yeah.
yeah, I think that Eve Echoes pries my pockets a little bit enough. I spend more money in Eve Echoes than I do in Eve Online, so I'm good.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. JD wants
So Mackenzie,
unmuted. Do we want JD
Yeah, I'm
unmuted?
sure. Oh God. Real quick, hey Mackenzie, I just want to apologize when you guys brought me in on the show on Sunday. I didn't realize there was more you wanted to hear from me, and I had to run. And then I plugged our show and then left. I feel bad. Sorry.
No, it's cool. I realize that the time in which we do New Eden FM, it can be hit or miss for some people. Like some people, Sunday afternoon is they're just chilling in a hammock somewhere, and
Yeah.
somewhere on the other side of the world, someone's probably in church or whatever. So you can't really win, no matter what. And I am a professional DJ. That's what I do in real life. So I work Fridays and Saturdays. There's no time for me to do a show on those days. You gotta do what you gotta do, right? But I
Yep, you do.
appreciate it. Anytime you guys can come in and be on that show, it's it's awesome.
And,
Yeah, appreciate the time.
And Mackenzie, you post your previous shows on SoundCloud, right? I need to go back and listen to a couple of them because Taylor told me just today that he was on your show. I was like, "What? How did I not know about this?"
Yeah, I actually have to clean up the tapes because for those of us that use Pro Tools, we understand the bane of what happens if you run out of hard drive space while you're recording. It's
Yikes.
Oh no.
not pretty. So that's the reason why that one hasn't been posted yet. A technical issue on my side, but yeah, I mean, it was really awesome. Taylor was a complete gentleman, so thank you for that.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right, JD, what? Keep it civil.
No, I was just saying that Melly should talk about Burr's mercenary contracts. I think we can sing a lot of cool things from them.
Well, yeah, and we still have Rosera here too, as well. You know, he was on the opposite end of that. Meliodas, were you part of that?
You mean the contract that we got for BLAP?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two contracts.
It's so the first contract we got was against Trimark, right? And it was like in the evening, I posted the announcement that guys, we have a PPK contract. Go kill Trimark ships. Don't shoot structures. Let's get it going. Fall asleep, wake up to a fuck ton of messages about the contract is done. Tell people to stop. I was like, huh? What? And they're like, yeah, contract is done. We killed like more than double what we're supposed to. Like, okay, fuck it. So I sent an announcement saying either I did it or Krans did it. I don't remember. So was like, guys, tell people to stop. This is enough. And then next morning, Trimark comes on deploy. They're like, guys, we have nothing against you guys and this and that. I was like, bro, chill. Like, contract is done. Like, we're good. So after that, I think we've done plenty so far. I'd like have to start rejecting contracts. And it's too much. For BLAP, it was actually too short because we basically started the day. It was only for ships and bases and some harassment kind of things. So didn't really. I don't know. I don't think it's us that caused too much trouble. I don't know because I we were in it for 2 days, and on the third day, the people who contracted us, the client goes like, "Well, BLAP is dead." I'm like, okay, well, fine. I guess the target is not there. The contract is done.
I'm not even sure if it lasted a full 3 days, dude. I mean,
No, on the third day. It's like, so when I'm talking about it is basically when the contract started on our end, we announced it the next day, and then I think about 36 hours or so. In the meantime, I think they were like, we didn't even get to kill a whole lot because there wasn't much people showing up at that time. I think we also cleared some bases and stuff, so that's gone then. And suddenly, new contract comes in, say like, oh, okay, do you guys want to consider that? So yeah, sure. And it goes like, so it's TSC, and I'm like, okay. So now it's something that I've always wanted to do, shoot both sides of the war. It's it's fun. So went for that one, deployed in period basis, and went for 1 CTA, I think. And we killed 2 citadels and came back. And then now there's too many pending contracts, and it's just, we started rejecting because it's just, I can't keep up.
Business is good then. Wow.
Yeah, business is good. Business is good to a point. I know, like everyone knows, like during back in the Gen days, where I think we had issues with SRP funds, but at the beginning of Pantheon War, I think we had our largest war chest at that time. I think we're pretty close to that in 1 month in Burr. So it's kind of crazy how much contracts we've been getting. So it's been fun so far. Yeah.
I got a comment. I see Ozier's in the on-air chat, but he's not in the studio.
Okay.
Like, see how the spy alt listening in and commenting?
Yeah. He's got his Discord also listening.
I stopped reading at some point.
You have to.
I was informed.
You can't do both.
Yeah.
I was informed.
Do my thing.
PromisedOne also wants to talk a bit about this, right? So, PromisedOne, I unmuted you. I'll go.
Oh, hey, Promised.
What's happening?
Yeah, so MC gone, now you're doing something else? Is it because Burr is so busy?
Wait.
No, all right, so I'll give you the quick details.
Hold on, this is news to me. What?
Yeah, this is certified fresh. So when I came back, I did a couple like Discord posts, pretty much for me just to get numbers on like how many people were actually getting doctrineships and actually moving, that kind of thing. And I knew like, okay, I need around 30 people to do anti-cap warfare method that I want. And it just didn't look, we weren't even getting half that number, I remember after like a few days, the number of people that had clicked, okay, I'm ready to go, was like 9. And I was like, yeah, okay, can't wage a solve. I mean, I could. Just wouldn't. So, kind of evaluated it, and I was like, okay, well, I still want to, I've come back to Eve Echoes, I'm going to go play for a few days. So I took like 2 days and went and decided I'm just going to do some simple gate camp and refresh once and everything. And I killed more than the Alliance killed in 2 days. Considerable amount of time. I was just like, all right, maybe I'm going to look at some options and see what else is going on. But mostly because I did not want the pilots that had made a choice to come back to MC for one reason or another to be kind of just left hanging in the wind, right? Like, I don't want to be in a situation where you're in a corp or alliance that's just going to slowly wither and die. I'd rather just cut it off and then, reallocate those pilots to somewhere where they continue to have fun. So,
a really mature decision and a very difficult one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of how I looked at it, and in the same respect, so there'll be an announcement. See, Tom's how certified fresh. We just want our pilots to have fun, and they'll end up where they end up. As for me specifically, last time I was on the show, we talked about anti-capital warfare and kind of how the meta shifted, and
Right.
There's only a few entities I was looking at that can kind of offer that content in the way that I wanted to. So Bird's one of those, and then No, obviously the other.
Mm-hmm.
And there are no bad relations with anybody. So, I talked to Melodias, and okay, what can you guys do? And he was like, here's a whole bunch of videos. So I think I spent con.
You're cutting up, bro.
Is that better?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I spent like 6 hours going through video, and I was like, okay, I'm sold. Let's do this.
It didn't take long.
No, right? I was like, all right, this is exactly what I want to do. So,
But something like Real Talk, I think it was Sane that reached out to Bell when we were considering our next option where we were going to go, and when I heard that you were there, you were part of the reason why I wanted to go there, like to fly with you, because I had heard the stories from back in 2020 when the server was still young and everything, and you have a really impressive resume. What can I tell you?
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, no, I mean, a lot of fights, a lot of meta changes. Staying at the edge is hard, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is true for any organization. You kind of go. You can the meta can change in three ways. The first way is that the meta between you and your local opponent shifts, right? So you have to change doctrine to be able.
It was fun to get Promise. It was like I sent him a message about like, hey bro, so how's MC doing? He's like, yeah, not so good. I kind of want to like kill caps and stuff and have some fun. I just told him, well, we killed 16 last month only. What do you think?
Right.
And he's like, okay, I'm sold. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, great.
Yeah. So I told him, I was like, I gotta review the doctrines and everything, go through stuff, kind of situated. So it took a few days, been out doing some solo pipe camping and whatnot. But in essence, from the bigger picture, I think it's a good move for the pilots, for MC. They can relocate to where they want to go to. I think some will go back to TF, some will come to Burr, some will, maybe want to start a different adventure, or, who knows, they'll go to Diablo Immortal.
Yeah, they'll go to Diablo.
Right. I mean, real talk, that's the deal.
Yeah, for a hot minute, then they'll come back.
Yeah, they'll get
that's
bored.
the way these things tend to go.
They'll come back. Like from my experience in Diablo so far that I've seen, it's so many servers you can't really like have the Eve experience. To be honest, it's like
Doesn't give you
the
the same
time zone
empire
waves.
building thing.
That's why we always refer to Eve as like a seductive mystery. Evil succubus.
It sucks you back in and then just beats the shit out of you.
So now and then when you get bored, you can like go shoot something in Diablo and come back. I don't think we're going to lose people to Diablo, but yeah.
What is it with rugby? They call it a drinking club with a little bit of rugby. It's essentially what Eve is. You'll play other games and then come back for the fights.
Yep, exactly.
But anyway, to kind of just talk about that, I think it'll be good, right? So the political situation in the game, and this kind of goes back to what Rosera was talking about earlier, but there's been a lot of shakeup in the last couple of months, especially. So it's going to be, obviously there are some groups that have kind of from that fallout solidified currently, but there's no. With the current restrictions and fatigue with capitals, there's not real bad overreach, and we're also not at a point where groups have multiple capital fleets in different areas of space to respond to different threats yet. So that meta hasn't happened yet. We're going to get that with the
I think we'll be there within probably the next month and a half.
Yeah,
I would agree maybe in 45 days. Yeah, that probably. I'm just thinking of build time.
July.
Yeah. So it depends on how many hulls. Like are farmed and the reduction in the total cost, demand for the work that keeps minerals high.
Well, we'll see. I'm not sure. I mean, with the industry changes they just came out with, I'm not sure how well the minerals are going to stay hot. But I do agree with the whole, the major changes in the last. Really, this whole year has been nothing but constant change in this game. Whether it's been from balance patches, industry updates, little quality of life changes, things like that, but really just the map itself. The entities that were in control of some areas that are not anymore, the shakeup and the moving around and all of that has been fantastic for this game. And it's great to see and it's great to hear from everybody around the map that they're actually, even with the fall of some of their own, alliances or setups in certain areas, they're still enjoying the game and there's lots to do, which is great. That's the whole point of this thing. It's a sandbox and we as the players get to determine our own destiny. And that then comes into conflict with what somebody else wants to do.
It's almost like establishing a 7-region blue donut is a bad thing.
Almost.
Weird.
Almost. Yeah. Weird, isn't it? So, yeah.
I mean, it is kind of nice having all these additional blues or not having blues, so we can go shoot all these additional newts. Plus, if I had known taking contracts and and killing people unapologetically was so much fun, I probably would have joined No a long time ago.
This is I have to say, this is from the northern perspective, which made us shake our heads for so long. We're like, guys, you're like missing one of the best aspects of Eve.
Yeah. It's interesting. I had a bunch of, and this kind of harks back to, some people just never try it. And I've kind of gotten to experience today, actually, for the first time, the new faction war games, which I say are great. But I mean, hey, it's a way to get somebody in a ship that they can, try out with no loss. So, that's I find that is a good way to get players who maybe they do trading and industry and that kind of stuff, but to kind of cross the fence a little, to try something new because there's no risk. And then it's just kind of steering them to apply that skill set elsewhere.
Yeah. I think once you get them hooked, though, it's game over. They're not going to want to do anything but that.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's so much more fun and immersive, than just finding astronauts.
Well, yeah, it's more rewarding because there's a planning aspect that goes into it. There's so many different ways that you can do it. It's not just a matter of flying to a belt, mining, and going back to the station and building something, or flying to an anomaly, ratting it, picking up all your shit, and flying back to the station. Right? There's actually something to it. There's these, there's Dictor bubbles, there's Hictor bubbles, there's scouts, there's Newt alts you can get. Scout out ahead of time.
I mean, don't be like completely. I do enjoy people who Care Bear a lot, or sure. Have like a
Melodias is seeing his cap kills disappear. He's like, "Oh, guys, whoa!"
Yeah. It's great that it's great that you guys fly all these carriers and have like huge mining fleets and stuff. Because end of the day, man, people choose their gameplay however they want. The only perspective that I have on it is if you're gonna play that game in nullsec, you better pay something. That's the hard truth of it. Like you're not doing PvP, you're not doing any of this. Fine by me. I don't care at all as long as you gotta you don't want us to hunt you guys, or you don't want us to do this or that. Okay, fine.
Yeah, I mean,
10 million
you're going to lose that.
Yeah, I do know that.
We used to refer to it back in the day as butts and seats. Like, okay, to do whatever XYZ thing, we got to put so many butts and seats.
Right, and I appreciate people who continues doing it, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to fund what I want to fund, right?
Right.
So at least, like, I think Care Bear is going to Care Bear and PvP is going to PvP, and both should be able to earn money. And since PvP doesn't pay as much, unless, you obviously get loot and stuff, but it's not as much as Care Bearing. So they have to bear some of the costs that the way we want to enjoy our game for. So.
And I think that's only possible if they're not willing to put ships on the field. I think there's
Right.
many organizations that show you the actual.
Like I can tell, like several corporations, because when we formed up, we had application from, I don't know, about 80 corporations or something like that, right? We we only ended up taking, I don't exactly remember the number. I'll have to check. Probably 18 corporations, and said no to all the rest. And even I think we started with like 10 or 12, and then slowly got a few more. And with continuous like, oh, why wouldn't you let us join and stuff like that? Because, I don't think you guys do anything. It's just the hard truth, right? And if they want to have their own solve and stuff, that's not how I play the game. So I'd be like, guys, not the place for you guys. And people would be like, so where do you want us to go? And I was like, I don't really care, right?
Somewhere else.
But yeah,
when you just sit there and crowd, that's how we get ants.
Or if you want to live near us, right, then just pay up, because if you have a significant PvP entity living right next door to you, it's not going to be fun, right?
100 billion. 100 billion.
Yeah,
right.
I was going to say that's where the 100 billion came from.
I mean, if it's 100 billion, I mean, they're not paying, right? The point that I'm trying to make is like, if you want to enjoy your gameplay, because when another corporation came to us, it frustrates me sometimes that people don't want to merge, and that's the biggest problem that I have. Like, there's an 8-person corporation or 30-person corporation where 8 only active, and people like that. And be like, oh, how about I join you guys? It's like, yeah, requirement is like you at least field in your prime about 15 to 20 pilots with this and have this many dreads. If you can't, then no. Then they go like, oh, this is not possible. You guys are asking for like, there's no way to be like casual gamers and stuff. Yeah, there is a way. Just don't play with me, because I don't want that shit.
Be a casual gamer somewhere else.
Right, be a casual
that's
gamer.
Who you're hitting.
Else.
You're hitting the casual gamers.
Right,
so and then ask them, where are you guys based at right now?
and then there goes like, so one corporation came and they were like, well, we do this and that. We always field this many pilots. Why wouldn't you let us join? I was like, I never saw you guys. And they're like, oh, but they're a Chinese corporation who uses QQ a lot. They're like, no, we do show up and stuff. We're just in QQ, so you guys don't see. I was like, okay, I give you 12 hours. In 12 hours, I'm going to bring my pod in that system. I'll see what fleets to form up. So they formed up with like about 35 battleships, so 15, 20 Logis. This one corporation, I was pretty impressed. I was like, okay, come join. And since then, I'm happy I did the test, because they do show up big time every time with all fleets. Another 2 corporation, the condition was like, it's funny.
That's interesting.
I think you guys are. I said, I think you guys are too small to join us. I know you guys have PvPers, but it's just too small. I'll give you one chance. You guys get to go to the sun, fight it out. Whoever wins gets the corporation, and you march. And I gave the option to multiple entities. Someone took it. They didn't end up fighting, but they ended up merging anyway, which is nice. But yeah, to join, it's pretty much pretty simple. Like, if you think you're a big enough corporation, come fight Orc at the Sun, and if you beat us, win. Things like that. Because it's like, otherwise you keep taking so many pilots, and it's fucking boring, man. I can tell last CTA was a shit time zone for pretty much everyone, like all the time zones, to be honest. We're an alliance of 600 people. We had about 250, 260 online in alliance, and we fielded about 130. Almost 50% attendance, including like I'm sure there's alts mining and shit, which is fine. Is pretty impressive. I'm pretty happy how things are going, really. So yeah, that's
keep riding that high, brother.
That's fun. That's good times.
It's really fun. Like before, at least in Gen, it was like, can I get 10% of our guys to show up? And it was never 10%, right? And now we're hitting like 50% of online, which is pretty impressive to me. And then there goes like it also reduces your risk of corporations just suddenly dying and some corporations doing pretty much nothing, and you're just carrying a dead weight.
Yep.
Rather have what actually works.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can get that if you're not watching it, you're not careful, and you grow too big. You'll get lots of dead weight, and then that dead weight will just carry you right to the bottom of the sea.
And they want to join
to be
Burr.
fair, that is exactly what happened to MC.
Then
we started absorbing people early on.
Yeah, then they want to join Burr, and Burr takes them and denies them.
And makes them fight each other in the sun.
And makes them
each other to
relocate.
death.
I love that recruitment philosophy. That's great. I'm gonna have to use that.
If you can't feel the fighting fleet, you really should reconsider if you want to be with us. You can be anywhere else. So, I don't mind at all.
What I'm getting out of it is they have to take the fake CTA seriously, and if they do, then they can join you.
Well, it can be fake or it can be real. One of the corporations actually came to a real CTA with fleets. We temporarily blued them for that, and then they joined. There are multiple things. Yeah.
I'm still waiting for this song that you're going to sing. Ozier was speaking very highly of you. Since you've formed, you haven't come up with any pirate songs coming out of Burr?
Please call them sea shanties. What's wrong with you? Such a great opportunity missed.
He can't pronounce it, JD. That's why, because he can't say sea shanties. He keeps saying she shanties.
If I say it off the cuff like that, I'll screw it up. I have to think about it first before I say it.
The reason we don't have them is because I haven't written it yet. I
wish I could.
Yeah, I'll write your song for you.
Here you go.
Thank you. And then you can sing it for them.
Single. I will be singing on. I'll be singing on my single that is probably going to be dropping in the next. I don't know. Just looking at my watch, maybe 6 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Eve Echoes related.
Nice. Looking forward to
my music.
It's also funny. I heard one of the groups. I'm not gonna name them. Is they're giving contracts left and right, which is fine. And then they're like, "Oh, but we're not gonna contract Burr because they think because they're probably hitting someone that was friends with Jen." So they think that we're gonna maintain our whatever previous alliances were or friendships were in with Mama, and they're like, "Yeah, I don't think they're gonna do this." I'm like, bro, you either contract us or we make it a contract, and then come after you. I don't mind at all. But if you're not gonna give me a contract because you think we're aligned to some people because of some past alignment that Mama had, you got problems, man. And they're like, okay, fine. It's but so far, I think business is going well. I'm loving it, and it's fun.
Good.
It's
been good all around.
I have to add, one reason why I wouldn't hire Burr is because I'm piss poor as it is. I don't have any money.
It costs a lot. I understand. Initially, when we formed the alliance, I was like, I don't know where the money's gonna come from. We didn't have anything because we barely started, and Mama pretty much went with whatever she had, SAP fund and everything. I don't think there was anything in SAP fund anyway.
According to Discord channels, there wasn't.
Yeah, so I don't know how are we gonna do this, guys, but let's give it a try. We have we'll figure it out. And since then, it's surprising how much people hate each other and want to pay how much to kill each other, which is just unbelievable and a blessing, right?
Salt is the most valuable mineral in New Eden,
right? It's getting up.
It's actually interesting you say that because the big wars, I'd be curious what's more cost effective. Hire Burr to, get that.
Well, yeah, I mean,
chip off your shoulder as opposed to going and doing it yourself.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, for anybody up in the north, Rambo made that comment a minute ago, but honestly, anybody up in the north, if there was somebody we wanted to go and knock them down a peg, I don't know if we'd necessarily need to hire Burr.
Oh, we
But,
would do it ourselves.
Exactly. We could
It's
just do
too
it
much fun.
ourselves.
It's too much
It
fun.
is too much fun. Why would you pass
Yeah.
up that opportunity? Win or lose, that's too much fun.
I was going to say, every time I see...
I mean, feel free to contract anyway. We'll have fun together.
That being said, I'm never getting involved in wars again because every war I get involved in is a +8 time zone war. Thanks, GenFed jerks. I was like, finally, a U.S. time zone war, and all the timers are +8 time zone. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
You're fine.
There was a reason why it was like that. I didn't agree with it either. It just
You guys were relying on the Chinese allies out in Mist and Fae. It was a good tactic if it would have worked.
Well, there are many reasons that didn't work, and I don't want to go deep into that. It's more like a leadership failure from my perspective, where it's just they stole me an opportunity of having an amazing war.
Dude, we would have had such a good cap fight, man. I was waiting for you to drop.
I know. I'm so fucking pissed, and it was like pretty much why we did what we did. Right? Is just. Like, if you're not gonna let us play, you can't have PvPers anymore because it's just
Right.
bullshit.
100%.
What's the point? What's the point then? Yeah, I mean that's.
Why would you play this game if you're just going to be like, hey, all those T10 battleships you invested in? Nah, you can't use those. We can't afford that.
No, even caps and stuff, man. It's just fucking insane that you wouldn't. I know we're getting blobbed and all this stuff, but let us fight. I don't fucking care. But then it goes like, oh, no SRP fund. What have you guys been doing the whole fucking 2 years?
Now I see how you got muted. Now I see it.
I remember way back when I made the decision anyway. When I started to make that decision for us to leave where we were at, we had a fight against No actually. Was coming into Provi, and powers to be decided we're not going to fight. We're just going to let them take the Citadel. And I'm like, what in the fuck are we doing here? I don't care about the Citadel, but it's what the fuck are we doing here with 60 guys not taking the fight? Win, lose, or draw, I don't care. We're here to take the fight. Right? Why are we just logging off? This is ridiculous.
I understand
at that point, I said
where
we're
you
done.
take a strategic withdrawal and stuff like that. You let a timer die, so you're set up for the next one. But you can't just do that over and over and over again.
That's all they were doing. It was ridiculous.
You can't even have an argument in the CEO chat where I said, I was literally saying that, this is, if you guys want to win the war, this is what you need to do. And the next thing I hear is I'm muted, and Mama goes back on a 50-minute rant on how terrible Silent and No are. And
speaking of which,
we're gonna fight him with Ash Cruisers and Scepters.
To be fair, she wasn't the only one saying what bad people we were. Mackenzie was also responsible for saying those mean, hurtful things.
Well, I mean, let's put it this way: you guys wanted a fight with us, but then you rally. What? No and Silent and Red.
If you think we're the ones,
whatever the background is killing me, man.
You rally all these people and say you want cap fights. Do you really think you were gonna get cap fights?
If you thought we were the ones who rallied everyone, you were sadly mistaken.
No. Hey, as far as I'm concerned, they joined us.
You're right.
The thing is, war-wise, right? The way I see it is taking on what Gen potentially could be, which, again, as I said, because of leadership and many other decisions, it wasn't. Picking on what Gen potentially could have been, it's fair to not fight by yourself, and if you determine that, we're going to completely crush him, then I get it. You need allies, right? Which is fine. I think it was a bit much because getting blobbed is not fun. But even then,
here's my thing about that though.
Hold on a second.
Hold on a second. Just that statement right there makes me laugh so much because the Starfish fight. If you look at the numbers, it was probably close to 75% shush.
Yeah.
No, I know.
In fact, in those 3 days, we put 1,600 pilots on the field.
Yeah, let me get on with it. you needed allies, which is fine, right?
Oh,
And-
we didn't
and
need
the-
allies. They just happened to
Well,
be there of
I mean,
opportunity. We were going to war with you regardless.
Yeah,
We-
it was.
Well,
no matter what.
we fought before that even. Like, you know, it wouldn't change
Mhm.
anything. But the main point is, because in that fight, or at least in Starfish, you guys had 800 subcaps, 100 capitals almost, right? It was 73 deaths, 15 carriers, and we
They were on field, yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah, right.
there's more.
So obviously, right? So that's what I'm saying. It is blobbing, right? Because we had nothing near that number, right? Because we total gathered 350 pilots, which is fine, but it could have been fought regardless if you just give up on your fucking Sov and go on and take the fight up north, which we've been begging. And, you know, like, if leadership doesn't listen, you can't really continue doing anything.
So
No.
the issue with that and an organization like GenFed is you guys aren't mobile like that. Like the organization you've developed now, absolutely you could do that. The question is, can you fight underneath the capital umbrella? I think that's what I'm very curious about.
Well, that's we've formed. It's been like a month and 2 days, I think. So
No. I'm saying at your current state. Obviously, you know, a month,
Right.
2 months down the line, that's a different ball game.
Right. So it depends, right? Depends on how much capital are we talking about here. If you're talking about the amount of caps you guys had in Starfish, not really. But at that point, it's not even a hard choice for the corporations that we have now. It's like, okay, let everything die. We're just going north, and you know we're not going to come back until I feel good, right? So because now having the ability to make the decisions and having the pilots that are willing to do it, right? Previously, it would be extremely difficult, at least in Gen. But now, I mean, we're going to lose Sov, man. We're going to lose Sov. I even didn't want to drop any Sov until people are like, oh, we're going to, you know, need some ISK now because, you know, we fought a war and we don't have money and Alliance doesn't have money. And it's like, okay, I get it. You know, we need to drop some Sov. At this point, if it all dies, it dies. I don't really care. But coming to a point of like, doing damage and stuff with the amount of pilots we have, even if we don't have Sov, it's fine. I think only last month, where the first 2 weeks we didn't really get to do much because of, you know, we just formed and tried to figure things out and move stuff. Even then, we killed about close to 4 trillion ISK just last month with 16 caps, popped a whole bunch of citadels in contracts. So I think at this point we can, if there is a fight, we're able to continue fighting. But if it's a like huge cap war, we're probably just going to skip the cap war part. But it can continue, right? Hopefully that changes, and hopefully we get to have good fights with caps too.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
But I don't think it's going to happen in a month. But
I think you're going to see that opportunity arise, especially with the 5 light year limitation, because if you position them correctly and someone's not expecting it, it's going to be a whole different ball game.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, we could have done very similar things even in Gen War, where if we could consolidate our caps, which again we've been begging for 2 months pre-war to get all the caps in one place. Where Mama's response was, "What for? We ret with them." I was like, "What? This is my leader telling the senior fleet commander we ret with them." And I was like, "How about only dreads?" She's like, "Yeah, you don't ret, Mel. We ret with dreads."
No,
I was like, okay. You know, I was like, "This is just, I don't even know what to say anymore, right?"
Yeah.
It was hilarious. You're the rat king, dude. You were running around in a carrier.
Yeah, I was like bored, and I was like, "Okay, fine. Can I take my caps and my friends' caps, you know, whatever we have, and go and have fun?" And she's like, "No." It's like, "It's my own fucking cap that I paid for." She's like, "No." Okay. Well, I don't know what to do with these ships
At that
anymore.
point, you just don't listen and just go and do it. I mean, seriously. I mean, honestly, ratting with the dread is just the worst thing in the fucking world. That's just so ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's all
I
about
mean,
that
you have to do it
ISK war.
if you have it. That's what you've got. You have to have the ISK, I guess. But still, it's horrible. It's horrible.
Yep.
They're playing the ISK war.
Well, I mean, so far, whatever Jen did and happened. But the good thing is, I mean, overall, I'm enjoying the game more than I've ever enjoyed the game. Like, there's no limitation so far, and people, since many of them were in Gen, which they had a bad habit of like asking everything to Mama, like, oh, can I shoot this thing? Can I shoot this thing? And initially, for the first 2 weeks, it was my similar situation in my DMs being flooded with, hey, Mel, I found this gate camp. Can I shoot these guys? And yes, why not? Why are you asking me? Like, do you see the, like they're like, oh no, just making sure. You don't have to, bro. You don't have to make sure. Shoot first and then talk about it. I don't know.
Yep. Shoot first, ask questions later.
And go neutral with basically entire New Eden limits that question down quite a bit.
No. They're asking. We don't have much blues, right? And we either have blues because of contracts, or we have blues because of maybe the transition period is kind of longer than I was expecting, where people have Sov in our space, we have Sov in their space, and we're like moving parts around to upgrade them and transfer them and such. But it's like very limited. So in that case, but other than that, the map is all gray. And they're asking about gray. Like a few days ago, we went out on a fleet, and one of our clients, I'll get to that later, where it was like, we're getting to, we went out to shoot BLAP, right? The contract was active in that 2 days. And no one is undocking. So we're like, okay, we'll just roam rest of Fountain and see what we can shoot. And someone is like, Mel, there's a carrier. Okay, let's go. And they're like, but it's a TCOS carrier. Okay, let's go. And I was like, but it's a YKZZ carrier. They were part of Gen. I was like, what is the color? Great. Fuck it. Kill it. And they're like, okay.
Yeah, it sounds like fair game to me.
So many questions. Yeah, fucking point it first. And they're like, okay, it's fine. And then, so we kill that. And then one of the clients came and be like, hey, can you guys kill these guys? I was like, hold on 1 second. Guys, send me the screenshot real quick, and send it back. And they're like, oh, I'm impressed. Because they were talking about right that cap kill. I was like, okay. This is fun. But, I mean, the fun thing is, like, even being, like, restricted for the first 2 weeks on what we are going to do and stuff, because we had to move a lot. I think on an average, we killed a capital every other day so far. So yeah, I think people are learning not to ask too many questions about what to shoot and not. Just follow the color code.
Well, I'm happy for you guys. I'm happy you had a good time with it, and everybody's enjoying themselves down south with plenty of content. So,
yeah,
that's good. That's all good.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, I think we'll probably close it out. We had a 2-hour show. You believe that?
Yeah, we did. Oh, well, it's been 3 weeks, so it's about time. Yeah.
All right.
It goes fast here.
Thanks for having me again, guys.
Hey, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for coming on.
Mackenzie, PromisedOne, Meliodas, Michael JD, Rosera, thank you all for joining us tonight in 07.
Thanks for having me.
It was fun to have you guys here.
07. Michael, I hope you'll be coming to my show. Yes.
I will do my best. We are in the midst of farming season, so it makes timing a little bit difficult.
He needs real world farming.
Yeah,
JD
real world farming.
You're real world.
Like chickens and goats and cows and
fire
pits and.
Okay, my bad. I thought you wanted like salt.
Oh yeah, I went full PvE now. I'm actually a giant crab. I'm transferring to Red Sea right now.
All right. Go ahead and mute yourselves. If I mute you, your server muted. So
all right.
We'll close it out from here, and we'll start the outro music. So thank you everybody for attending the show. Those that were with us live, and we had a great show. It was awesome chat, and like to shout out to all the other content creators as well. And I know Benzie gets a lot of heat, but he makes good videos. So check out Captain Benzie. Voxel is another good person to watch. Big Skillet. Damon Zell, even though Damon Zell's doing Immortals right now. He also still does Eve Echoes stuff. Sky News, Scipio from Killmark Collectors. They all have good content out there, and they're still doing it. Ashiv. Yep, Ashiv's also doing Diablo Immortals, I believe. I get pings for it.
Yep.
So...
Chicken, don't forget Chicken. I mean, the list is very long.
Yeah, the list is so long. I just glanced at the sidebar as to the ones that I was able to see at the time. There's so many, and actually, we're about ready to have some more. Those that attended or filled out the content creator thing. I guess next week we'll figure out who is the who becomes new content creators. And I'm still waiting for my medal. Damn it. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Taylor Rick. And I guess fly safe out there, and we shall see you next week.
Yeah, we'll see you guys.